Hello, once again. This is yours truly coming to you live from the void. So, I'm recording this before I go to sleep after my job. And I would like to tell you a parable while it is fresh in my mind. I call this parable the ice cream story. So, a few days ago at work, I was in the break room where we usually chill during our break or lunch or before we start working. And I was chatting with the fellas at my work, and some of them were complaining that I don't really bring food into the break room to share with other people. And I kind of felt guilty about it. So I thought to myself, hey, I'll bring in some ice cream. And so that's exactly what I did. The very next day, I got some ice cream at Stop and Shop, I think. Yes, at Stop and Shop. I bought like 4 tubs of it, and I brought it into work. Now, I brought it in, and I had like a nice big freezer bag. And I walked into the break room while everyone was talking at the table, and I put it in the freezer, and I sat down at the table, putting like the freezer bag underneath my work backpack. And then I just sat there and I waited. After our boss came in, gave us our directions for our work that day. We went to work, and then we came back during our break, and began chatting again. And then someone went to the freezer and was like, "Hey, there's ice cream in the fridge. Whose is it?" Now, there's this rule in our break room that you're not allowed to just eat random food in the fridge unless you got like permission beforehand by the person who put the food in the fridge. And that's like a nice way to make sure that no one like starts eating other people's food by accident or anything. Or you're supposed to like ask whose food this is before you go and eat it. For like permission's sake or something. And one of my co-workers, I'm not gonna name him, but he was like, "Hey, there's ice cream in the fridge. Whose is it?" And yeah, started asking around, "Oh, whose ice cream is this?" And it was like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know whose ice cream it is." And clearly, all of my co-workers have the social awareness of a caterpillar because they did not notice that it was me who put the ice cream in the freezer. Now, I decided to play a little game and to just not admit that it was me who put the ice cream in the freezer. And so they questioned everyone, but surprisingly me, about the ice cream in the freezer. And it seemed like some of them want it. So I'm just like, "Hey, dude, just go eat the ice cream in the freezer. Seems like it was put in there for us." He's like, "No, I don't want to get in trouble with whoever put the ice cream in the freezer. No, it's not right for me to eat the food. Eat it." I was like, "Okay, man." And that went on for a little bit. And so, I think it was after. No, it wasn't at lunch, I think. I think it was at the end of the day. You came back to the break room, ready to clock out, and I decided I'm going to have myself some ice cream. So I went to the freezer, I got myself a spoon and a bowl I used for lunch, and I scooped out some ice cream. And everybody in the break room was just. Oh, wait, before I continue. During lunch, I actually told one person, one of my coworkers, I'll call him Knight. I told Knight that I was the one who brought the ice cream in. And He thought it was the funniest thing in the world because everyone was like confused about the ice cream. And then I told him that I'm going to like eat some in front of them and see how they react. He's like, "Oh, this is going to be so funny." And so at the end of the day, we went back to the break room, and I brought out the ice cream and I started eating it. Or rather, I started scooping it out into a bowl. And everyone was freaking out. I was like, "Yo, whoa, bro, you're not supposed to be eating that. We don't know whose that is." And I'm like, "Bro, it's in the freezer. No one's name is on it. I'm going to eat it. Because it seems like it was left out for us." And they were just getting so angry about it. They're like, "Oh, you piece of garbage." Nah, they're saying, "You piece of shit, man. You're eating fucking ice cream and you're fucking doesn't know whose it is." And they were like freaking out. It was fucking top tier trolling or rage bait. Probably both. And of course, Knight is just sitting there fucking chuckling to himself, watching me eat ice cream. Thunder just rolled outside. And I have another coworker. I'm going to call him, I'll call him Kinger. And at the end of the workday, I like ate some of the ice cream. People were like pissed at me, calling me a piece of shit and stuff. And he was just confused. It's like, "Bro, why did you do that?" And I made up some excuse. Like, "Oh, I just love the taste of ice cream." Honestly, what I should have said to him are, "My goals are beyond your understanding," because he's like a big comic book superhero buff, and he would have found that funny. Anyways, over the next few days, I actually didn't touch the ice cream. So I bought the ice cream Tuesday, brought it in on Wednesday, and then I just didn't eat it Thursday or Friday while I was at work. It just sat there in the freezer. No one touched it. In fact, what happened was on Wednesday when I was eating the ice cream in front of them, my coworkers actually had an ice cream fund, made an ice cream fund to go buy some more ice cream, and to spite me for eating the ice cream in the freezer. And the ice cream fund, like, everyone contributed $2. One of them went to ShopRite and got some little Dixie cups of ice cream. And I brought that to work. And I couldn't eat any of it, of course, because I was a piece of shit for eating the ice cream. The big tubs of ice cream in the freezer. Also, the flavors of the ice cream were Moose Tracks and cookie dough. Anyways, fast forward to Tuesday, which is today. Sorry about that. And I come in. Also, oh shoot, I forgot. On Friday, I actually told another person that I bought the ice cream, and he said he was kind of angry at me. He's like, "Oh, why didn't you just tell everyone? Now everyone thinks you're a piece of shit." And I told him why. I told him because it's funny, and he still didn't really understand. But he said he would keep it a secret. Anyways, come Tuesday, which is today, I come into work. I talk to Shield and the other person I told. I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna call him Griffin. I told Griffin and I told Shield about it, and they're still Shield is still laughing about it because of how funny it is, getting them all angry. Griffin doesn't really understand, but he won't do anything. And so, fast forward, come around lunchtime, I decide, hey, I'm going to eat some come around break time, first break, I'm going to eat some ice cream in front of everyone. And I take out the ice cream once again, I scoop out some, and I'm putting it in a bowl. Everyone is fucking angry at me again. He's calling me a piece of shit. Piece of trash, no good, fuck-ass person. My Kinger is fucking confused with me still that I'm eating the ice cream. You know, it's outside my personality that I do it. And I was like walking over, I was eating some of the ice cream in front of Shield and Griffin, and they're calling me piece of shit. Griffin starts like poking me in the chest, calling me that, and I poke him back, and then we start sort of ruffling each other's feathers, sort of fake fighting. I accidentally sort of hit him in the face, and apparently after that, to him, this was going to turn into a real fight, and we kind of stopped each other before that happened. I didn't know. I thought we were going to continue fake fighting, and then he sort of told the table that I bought the ice cream. And Kinger's like, you bought the ice cream? And I'm like, yeah, I did. And they sort of all start laughing. Kinger's happy that he can go eat some ice cream. I'm happy that everyone knows that I bought the ice cream. And everyone... And I still think it's one of the funniest rage bait / trolls I have ever done in real life. Hands down, the best thing I've done. They got so fucking angry thinking I was eating someone else's food. And, oh my god, it just the looks on their faces, how they acted towards me, absolutely hilarious. So anyways, yeah, that's the ice cream story. I hope you all have a good day and a good night's rest.